So some of you guys watching my videos may have noticed, that Charlie hasn't been in the background, and I haven't even been doing any flying videos lately. Well, it's wintertime, and right now the only thing in the hangar is the Stearman, and Charlie is in the avionics shop. That's where it is, and I'm actually going to go visit it today. It's due sometime soon. Stick with me on Flywire. I'll give you one of my updates on what's going on with Charlie. Hey, I'm Scott Perdue, and today on Flywire, we're going to talk about one of the aspects of doing a major avionics upgrade. If you just don't take something out of the panel and plug something back in again, if you're doing something major like glass, well, you have to do a whole new panel. It's not so easy. So we're going to talk about today on Flywire is just that, how we did the panel. I did the panel for Charlie and replaced all the circuit breakers, and I took it to the avionics shop, and that's where it is right now. It's getting a G3X, two 650s, GFC 500, a 275, GI 275 as a backup. Some pretty cool stuff. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to go flat. But why don't you meet with me right now? Go with me right now. We're going to meet the guy who cut the panel for me. So let's check it out. Right. Well, hey, I'm here with Kranston Kincaid. He started this business, Superior Aircraft Components.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And it's he does amazing work. I mean, you really impressed me as a machine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really great. So I want to know first about you. Tell me about Cranston.
Well, Cranston is a tinkerer. That's what I am. So obviously that's why I have a shop. But I went to St. Edward's University here in Austin, Texas. I'm from Illinois, and that's how I got to Austin. Later went to law school, which in Lansing, Michigan, and hated it. Right? Figured out that wasn't the thing for me. So I came back to Austin and really tried to figure out what it is that I like to do. And I've worked just about everywhere and in every type of job. But again, at the end of the day, I'm a tinker and I like making things. And so funny because my mom finally says, now I know why you were always running around the house cutting up paper. So now I'm cutting up aluminum. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, but with CNC machines.
Yeah, and really cool tools now.
Really
not
awesome
scissors.
Tools. Yeah. So tell me how you got into flying.
So got into flying, interesting enough, I wanted to go to the Air Force. And me being a little bit strong of a personality when I was younger, I decided I was going to go to the Air Force, went down, took the test, wanted to be a pilot, and they came back and they said, well, you passed everything. However, we want you to be a navigator. And I had a hot head, and I said, no navigator for me. I'll just go to law school. And that's how I ended up in law school as my choices. But then after that, and just trying to figure out, I really still had the passion to want to fly. And I said, I'll just do it myself. And so in 2010, I started taking flight lessons in a Diamond DA-20 and started learning how to fly, and that obviously progressed, and just love flying and have passion for flying. And I'm like a kid. I still look at planes in the sky when they go over like I've never seen a plane before.
Most pilots do.
Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's like you can tell a group of pilots, man, they go, oh, look,
yeah.
what is that?
As soon as you hear a prop, you're like, oh, I got to see it. And I've seen 100 planes, and cool enough working on them and making parts for them is even more exciting because, again, you see all the planes, but everyone's different, and I still get excited about making parts.
Yeah. Well, cool. So tell me how you went from I learned to fly. I like working with machines and tinkering and stuff like that to doing this panel business.
Yeah. So my first plane was a Cherokee 140, and it was a basket case, but it's all I could afford, and I literally assembled that plane together. It came in on a truck with wings off, engine off, and that was my first learning experience about the actual aircraft in depth beyond just taking flight school lessons and looking at those airplanes. And I couldn't find a panel that I wanted. It had the old stuff, and I had an idea of what I wanted, at least to make me feel better about the basket case that I had. And one of the things I really wanted to integrate in there was the flush mount iPad mount. And no one had a panel for that, and they said, you can cut it. And just the solution wasn't there. So that was my first foray into making a panel. and I designed it on CAD. I was very familiar with CAD. Again, I loved engineering. So designed it on CAD and had a shop cut it out. Well, quickly found out, then what do you do? So I think I powder coated or had someone powder coated, and then I had a friend laser etch it because I found out that trying to get the placards on there, you had to go to a screen printing shop, and that was a specialty thing. And it was, all of these steps were just so much and started to be expensive for, I just wanted an iPad mounted in my panel. So that was the first panel that I made. And then, planes after that, I just said, I'll do it. Well, around the airport, people were going, hey,
can you do that?
Yeah, I saw you do that. You made this, you made that. And it just kind of grew and grew and grew until I started buying more and more machines and became a business after that.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's entrepreneurship.
Right?
Isn't that freaking awesome? I think it's great. Well, what he did is he made this. This is a blank from SRS Aviation PM8 panel, but he's the one that cut it up and made it like this. That's pretty cool.
So with this panel, some of the particular challenges, especially with a panel like this, it's really easy to take a blank piece of aluminum and design a panel, cut a panel, because the machine knows exactly where it's at for all the parts of the panel, and you can get squared away. With this panel, especially from SRS Aviation, we've done a couple of these now, they have bins here on the bottom, and so it sits up, it doesn't sit flat on our bed, so we have to make a platform to actually sit this up. And if you make a platform, then this metal can bow or bend. And so that's a really big challenge to cut those out. So this was a really cool panel to design and to do, and actually get everything where it's supposed to be and align the machine where we're supposed to be at and cut it out. So cool. We put a lot of flush, quite a bit of flush mounting in here with the JPI. It's a 900, right?
900, yeah.
900. Put a flush mount in there, and rather than using the stock screws, we riveted in so we could have a very clean installation up front. We also put this as an SRS glove box.
It is
too,
a
right?
glove box, yeah.
And we, again, riveted this in so that we could have a pretty clean flush glove box option, which is pretty cool because a lot of people are asking, how do we keep our glove box from like their Cessnas or whatever?
Yeah.
And this is a really good option to put into the panel that we create for you. So there's a lot going on in this panel. It's pretty cool too. A nice project. I like it.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. I really like it.
We could pretty much do just about anything.
Just about anything. It's really cool. And you do electroluminescent panels too. Right?
Yeah, that's something new that we're getting into. We're really finalizing our experimentation with what materials are going to be best. Again, we want to have probably the top quality. There's panels out there that you can get, but we want something that's going to last and have a lot of longevity and not be just the same old thing. So we're working with that. We have a laser for that. So yeah, that's coming really soon.
Cool.
Yep.
Really soon.
Really soon.
All right. Quick, take a look around. Show me some of these machines and what they are.
Yeah, cool. So here we have our CNC machine. This is going to be a 4x4 bed. So pretty much any panel that's in an airplane. Again, we bought the machine for panels. We didn't need much bigger, but it's a 4x4 bed. So just about every panel we can cut here. And so we design everything, send the tool paths down to the machine, and the machine cuts it all out for us. And we take it from there. I guess if that's all it does, is it cuts a lot of all our patterns for us.
Yeah.
So we make more than just panels, right? So anything that we're making, we cut with our CNC machine, and we use different bits for different sizes, but mostly we keep the same, and we cut our panels. So this is a panel, just a test panel that we cut to show people kind of what our quality is and what our finishing looks like. But again, this was cut on this machine.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So yeah, we cut those here with the CNC machine, and then we kind of like move down the process, down the line a little bit. We have a big 60-inch oven. So after we finish cutting the panels here, we'll take them to our workbench, sand them down, prep them, get them ready, install any flush mounts or rivets or anything, radio rails, and then we take them over to our powder coating station, which we have a huge powder coating station. Again, no matter the size of an instrument panel, because inside of our powder coating oven, it's 60 inches by, I think it's 36 and 24. So it's a huge powder coating oven. We can do a lot of parts, several parts, and It's got a blower in there, so the temperature's really even. We get really consistent color out of it. That's probably the key.
Yeah.
We have a nice powder coating gun, which 5-gallon capability, so we can get a lot of parts done there. So it goes to the powder coating, and then from powder coating we come down here to our UV printer. And this is what's really new in the industry is using UV print for our markings, because traditionally, again, like I mentioned earlier, either you're going to do laser etching, and there's nothing wrong with laser etching, but you only get the color of the aluminum behind it, or you have to do an acrylic fill-in, and that's okay. It's not as durable. With UV printing, what happens is, one, we have the capability to put as many colors and photorealistic print on our panels, so the design is limited just by your imagination, and it's really crisp. So just think desktop printer for metal and other flat objects, and so we could print white colors, red, anything you want we can print on here. And the cool thing is it comes out ready to touch, so it comes out dry. So as soon as it prints out, the UV light hits it and it cures it. So a lot of ladies may understand, or guys that get their ladies' nails done, they have the UV paint, nail polish and gel, they put it under the light, and it gets really hard. Yeah. That's the same stuff. This is a solvent, so that light hits it, it gets really hard, and it's durable. When we make a mistake, we have to sand it off, because acetone won't even take it off. So that's how durable this stuff is. Yeah. And then we usually go back to powder coating and cover it with another layer of clear matte powder, because we don't want any glare in the cockpit. So that's another thing that just elevates our panels to the next level.
Brilliant.
And our new buddy here, our new machine, is our laser. And so we can still do, and some of the things that we've been experimenting with, because some people still like laser etching, and there's questions about how long UV will last. We know it has at least a 10-year lifespan, but if you still want laser etching, we can do the laser etching. But again, because we're superior, we want to take it one step further. We've actually perfected a process where we can powder coat the laser etch graphics. So we laser etch it, and instead of filling it with acrylic, we fill it with powder coat and then bake it. So now you have baked on graphics. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to tear up our panels.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome. Well, I see your work list upstairs. So I saw your work list upstairs. There must be about 8 or 12 airplanes up there.
Currently we have about 10 that we're working on, I think, right now, and some of them are not on the list. We're waiting for people to get their equipment lists. We've shipped panels, all over the country, and I think worldwide now. We've done a couple of projects in Europe. We're working on some in New Zealand, so
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. So how do people find you? You have a website, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So the long website is kind of funny. It's superior-aircraft-components.com, because that's our name, but we're shortening that. You can actually type in Superior ATX, so that's Alpha Tango X-Ray, and find us. Email us, Cranston at superior-atx.com or sales@superior-atx.com. And our phone number is 512-522-2456.
Yeah, awesome. He does great work.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing my panel.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, we'll go for a ride once it's in the airplane.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, cool.
Well, there you have it. That's Kranston Kincaid. He is a major character, an incredible craftsman, a tinker, an aviation tinker, as he said himself. He described himself to be. Anyway, he did a fantastic job on the panel. I really liked it. It's very responsive, very precise, and I really appreciate that. So if you need to have a panel done or something like that, talk to Cranston. And he left his website. I'm going to put a link to the website down below, so you can give him a shout and have him do some work for you too. He's pretty good at it. So if you like that, if you like the video, and I'll leave like and subscribe, how to do that right there. And that kind of stuff helps me out, the whole YouTube algorithm and all that stuff. And who knows, it's all magic. Anyway, also thanks to my Patreon supporters. And without you guys, I have trouble doing all these videos, and I'll leave a link down below for how to help me out on Patreon if you like. And that's good stuff. So stand by for an upcoming video on Charlie's new panel and the avionics. You gotta see something. I mean, you get a couple of videos that I did, you can see it in the background and there's nothing there but a bunch of wires. Well, the panel doesn't show an awful lot until there's something live in it. So I don't think there's much of a story to tell. So anyway, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time on Flywire. Click this link for the latest upload. Click this link for whatever YouTube thinks you ought to watch. Or you can click this link to subscribe. Thanks for watching.